If you use a tool called Fello and you use Follow Boss as your CRM, you'll want to make sure you take full advantage of the powerful integration Fello has with Follow Boss. Side note, if you're a client of KTS, you already have access to these Fellows automations. If you have added Fello since we worked with you and you don't have these automations, please reach out to Kendra, where I'm putting her email in the description below. So if you prefer to do it yourself, here's a quick walkthrough video of the different automations you can set up with the Fello tags. So with Fello pushes different tags over to Follow Boss depending on what a lead does, because there's lots of call to actions that a lead can do from the email, and then more call to actions a lead can click on when they view the landing page. So let's pull up some examples and I'll show you. So I think it was 5 different types of sellers you can receive from Fello and 2 different types of buyers. So this first one is a buyer. If someone is interested in buying and they're not quite sure what they can afford, they can request to look at the affordability page, aka like a calculator. So when Fello receives that inquiry, then this tag, Fello affordability lead, gets added to Follow Boss. I do have conditions in place because we don't want to over automate ourselves, because people can click on so many things. So we want to avoid double emailing someone. So I do have a filter here that says last action plan sent email was more than an hour ago. We only want to include specific stages. Last communication over 7 days ago. We don't want to include someone we just spoke to, and it excludes people that are past clients. And so what this action plan is, I'll give you a sneak peek because this is only for our clients, is a drip campaign to re-engage them. So although these re-inquiries will show up on smart lists and Follow Boss, you can also take advantage of automation to try to trigger responses. So you can use this. I use this in 2 ways. The first is in the lead flow advanced rules to check if they come in tagged as Fello affordability, but also in the automation. So that's why I do have a text. Although this text won't send with the automation for existing leads, it will send to new leads in the advanced rules. And so here's an example where the email says, "Thanks for using our calculator for determining how much house you can afford. I'm curious what prompted your interest to use the calculator." So we find that plain text emails that are reply-based have the highest response rates. Keeping it simple, looking human, not too long, no CTAs at this point. They've already gone through the CTAs. We want to start a conversation with them. And so then if the lead doesn't respond, then we go through our buyer campaign that lasts 2 years long. So that way you're using automation to help you engage the lead. So that's example 1. With the affordability, if you may or may not have noticed, you can also use text strips. So for people who use platforms like Lead Engage or Texting Betty, you can text strip someone as well to further increase the re-engagement rate. So let's look at the next automation and tag that Fello pushes over. So affordability, callback. So this is super high intent. These are people who are requesting an agent to call them by filling out a form to say, "I want to talk to an agent." So again, we use this in the lead flow advanced rules, which if you didn't watch that video a few weeks ago about advanced rules, please do so. But I also create an automation here for callback. And this one is very simple because it needs the agent to reach out. But if it's a new lead, they get a text and then they get an email, and these callbacks go into a specific callback smart list in Follow Boss. And same thing, you can also trigger a texting drip through something like Texting Betty or Lead Engage. Another type of lead you can get is a cash offer. So if someone wants to request a cash offer, they get tagged as cash offer. And so we trigger a cash offer drip. I'm going through these rapid fire because this is for the DIYers who are familiar with Follow Boss and they don't need too much info. CMA lead are people requesting a custom report, so they'll receive our home valuation action plan where it says, "Thanks for requesting our home valuation plan," and then they go into a smart list, a hand raiser smart list for Fello. Okay, another one is the Fello home value lead. This one you may think, isn't that the same thing as CMA? It's not. Fello home value lead means that they viewed an automated report of their value And so we trigger an automated drip via email and text. Another type, this is the second type of buyer lead you can receive from Fello, is a mortgage lead where they're requesting more information about getting a mortgage. So to avoid double emailing or emailing too much, last action plan email sent need to be more than an hour ago. If so, they'll receive the mortgage lead action plan. So there's so much you can do with the Fello integration with Follow Up Boss beyond what Fello has to offer. Take full advantage of the automations you can set up. And then just a regular seller inquiry, Fello seller will receive our seller action plan.